Hello and welcome to this webinar presented by Xune Solutions. My name is Misha Cunningham and I'm going to be talking to you about how growth marketing is different to digital marketing. And we actually get this question a lot, so we say, oh, hey, we do growth marketing. And someone says, oh, you mean digital marketing? It's like, no. Okay, so what's the difference? Now, digital marketing as a concept is not that old. Obviously, the internet itself is not that old. However, I feel like it's already becoming very, very dated, and consumers as a whole, we're becoming wise to the tactics of digital marketers, and we're becoming a little bit jaded. And one of the biggest reasons for this is this whole funnel versus flywheel concept. Now, digital marketing on the left views everything in funnels, like absolutely everything. And the customer is left as very much an afterthought. So, let's say you have a marketing department or, potentially, if you've got a small team, then it could be the same person, but you go ahead and you write marketing messages. And the idea is to increase your exposure, to essentially get as many eyeballs on it as possible, and to write pithy little sales messages, which essentially the idea is the more people see them, the more somebody's going to resonate with what you're saying. They're going to go onto your website, again, resonate with your message, and then what comes out of the bottom is a customer. And digital marketing then starts putting statistics behind that. So, okay, well, if we get so many customers, then we have a conversion rate of this percentage. Therefore, all we need to do is increase the amount of people that see the message. And in theory, it works. However, growth marketing uses a flywheel, which actually puts the customers first and puts the customers at the heart of everything you do. So there's still the marketing and the sales element, but one thing which digital marketing definitely lacks is the connection to power the flywheel, which is the service part of it. Okay, and by serving, we create loyalty, we create brand ambassadors, and that powers the marketing. So, as a concept, that flywheel is self perpetuated, just keeps spinning around, without really stopping. Another major difference, and this one is a massive bugbear for mine. So digital marketing, the metrics are just so soft. You hear digital marketers talking about how much followers they're able to get you. Oh, we've increased visitors by 30%, or like our past customers, we've increased comments by 2.5% and likes by 18 point, all these different things. I would encourage you to ask yourself, like, so what? Like, what do those metrics actually mean to you as a business? From where I'm stood, they're quite soft. Now, on the right-hand side, growth marketing focuses on metrics like the amount of conversions, the amount of sales, the raw figures that have been influenced as a result of growth marketing. What's the revenue output for the growth marketing efforts? How much have we stretched out the customer lifetime value? And what are the savings by bringing all these disparate silos under one strategy? One method that we move away from focusing too much on metrics is by using buying signals. So with digital marketing, you'll hear digital marketers say things like the amount of time spent on the page would essentially indicate how engaged someone is, which, again, in theory, that makes complete sense. Whereas with growth marketing, we say things like, how many people have downloaded a pricing brochure? And what can we do with that information? If someone's downloaded a pricing brochure from your website or added a product to cart or even filled out a form requesting more information, we can use these buying signals and we can trigger different marketing messages depending on where somebody is in their journey, rather than one message fits all. And one thing which I just want to kind of put into your mind. So I don't know whether listening, watching this, you've ever been to like Morocco, or you've ever walked through a bazaar, and if you haven't, I definitely recommend it. But just the experience of the cacophony of noise, merchants trying to sell their wares, and each trying to kind of outshout each other and grab your attention, and that's really what digital marketing has become today. It's a lot of businesses shouting, it's a lot of businesses telling, we know what's best for you. Buy our product. It's going to increase your, it's going to benefit your life in this way. And again, there just needs to be an element, a little bit of educating, rather than telling. It needs to be an education. How can you inspire? How can you nurture? How can you guide people rather than just outright telling them? And I think having the realization that not everyone who visits your website is actually ready to buy immediately, I think is one of the catalysts in order to changing your mindset. So let's take e-commerce for example. So, let's just kind of talk real broad kind of global numbers, if you like. So for every 100 people that might visit your website, you get 3 purchases. So digital marketing will go, oh, okay, well, that's a 3% conversion rate. To get 6 customers from every 100, let's just get 200 people. Let's just up the amount of people that we put in the top of the funnel, which I guess technically works. But growth marketing will say, well, what's happened to those 97 people? Like, where have they gone? What's the reason that they didn't buy? Okay. What information do they need to know? Like, what resources can we give that's going to encourage them, enable them to actually make an informed choice? These are 2 Instagram pages. I just wanted to highlight the difference between selling versus relationship building, because it does permeate all the different marketing channels that your business can use. And the one on the left is very much product focused. It's got the price match promise in there. It's got admittedly fantastic images of their products. Now have a look at the one on the right. So that's Tropic Feel. They've gone through several kind of successful Kickstarters, and they're a trainer brand. And you could be forgiven at first glance for actually, not really knowing what they did, but it's very, very aspirational. Okay, so I've got a pair myself, okay, and do I go leaping off rocks into beautiful blue lagoons? No, actually, I don't. But have I brought into the message that I'm capable of doing that, or that I would aspire to do that, or that would set my soul alive? That's a sort of nice, warm, fuzzy feelings that I want to have. Price match promise, well, kind of secondary, really. So, onto the journey. Now, digital marketing talks a lot about awareness, consideration, and decision. Well, actually, no. In actual fact, this is only very, very recent. So only very, very recently do many digital marketers actually talk about there being 3 stages of the actual seller's journey. So it's when, number 1, somebody becomes aware of your product, or aware that they have a need that needs to be satisfied, or a desire. The consideration is essentially where they find the information, and then the decision is when they've decided they're going to buy. They just want to know what to buy or who from. Okay, so those 3 stages are still very, very important, and they're still integral to growth marketing. But growth marketing then looks to add on service, and that service, as I mentioned it on slide number 2 in the Flywheel, like that's a missing link, and just being able to nurture people post transaction and still seek to educate, still seek to inspire, still seek to guide, still seek to enrich their lives. That's what creates the loyalty. So we talk about brand ambassadors and evangelists going around spreading the good word about your business. It's that service which is going to cause that. It's a great little quote from Donald Miller, that the customer is a hero in the journey, not the brand. And that's really important, because I think from business owners, and we can forgive them because, from your perspective, right, your brand is, your brand is the hero of your own business story. And I get it. There's no stones being thrown from glass houses or anything like this. But I just encourage you to maybe flip it on its head. So again, a lot of digital marketers, a lot of business owners, they'll put your brand front and center. And then coming up from that, we've got your different silos. So what the products you're selling, or what your expertise, so what we know. So buy from us because of our expertise spans however many years, etc. You talk about what you offer and how much you cost being only a fraction of what you offer. But it's very much brand orientated. And I encourage you to ask yourself, does any message you're putting out there, does it pass the so what test? Imagine your customer reading, listening, hearing your message, and imagine them saying, "So what?" Now, when women flip it on its head and we make it person oriented, so your customer is at the center, we seek to understand things like what the challenge is. What is it that they actually want? So if they're buying a pair of trainers, fair enough. Technically, they want something to keep their feet nice and warm, protected from stones as they're walking along the pavement, right? But what is it that they truly want? Okay, because if it was just anything, then it wouldn't matter. Okay, do they want to look good? Do they want to fit in? How do they want other people to actually perceive them? Okay. And once you understand that, how can you guide them to that success? So is there any advice that you've got? So using the expertise, using what you know, how can you seek to empower your customer to be the hero in their own story and achieve their goal? Can you paint a positive picture of what their life would be like in possession of your solution? And while I wouldn't recommend anybody to build an empire based on fear, it's not a nice emotion, it could be of benefit to, ask your customer, or, suggest, or, find a way to essentially highlight what would be at stake by not buying your product or service. So, just to summarize, growth marketing puts all your marketing into one strategy. So rather than having these disparate silos, and you got your Facebook ads over there, and your Google SEO over here, and your SEM there, and your content, and it's all done by different entities, different agencies, different people who don't actually really communicate together around one strategy. Growth marketing brings it all under one strategy, and we're generally working 12-month sprints. But through it all, running through everything, is your customer. Your customer is put front and center, and we seek to position your brand as a solution rather than just another merchant shouting at them in a bazaar. And the way that we do it is we actually bring all the different messages from those different channels, and we unify them. Okay, so we make sure that they're all working for you rather than competing. And there are so many nowadays, so many different digital marketing options and channels and all these different things, and they all and when you look at them all separately, there's way too much really for one person, one team, even sometimes one business to really do all at the same time and give them all the proper due care and attention. In fact, a lot of digital marketers nowadays will actually advise that you only, since that you scale down and you focus on doing one channel well, whole growth marketing actually throws that out the window. So we're going to do them all. We're going to do them all very, very well. Thank you very much. And then what we do is because we remove that hassle of having to deal with an SEO agency and a PPC agency who essentially they've got their own different strategies, different ways of implementing different messages. You then got to throw in your mix of your social media agency as well. And that's already 3 different entities, or 3 different freelancers, or 3 different people, 3 different teams. None of them really singing from that same hymn sheet. We really seek to bring those silos under one roof and absolutely knock it out of the park for you. So my name is Misha Cunningham from Xune Solutions. Any questions, please reach out. I would love to have a chat with you. And other than that, thank you for listening.